Section 1. The Whisper of Gotham. The city never truly slept, but tonight it pretended. A pale hush covered Gotham like a sickly blanket, muffling the usual chorus of sirens and engines. Only the rain spoke, soft and deliberate, every drop tapping with the rhythm of a ticking clock. Fog slithered between the buildings, curling in tendrils that clung to the brick and steel, wrapping the city in its damp embrace. On the roof of an abandoned garment factory, he waited, the cape draped over him like an extension of the night itself, swaying ever so slightly in the wind. The cowl concealed his expression, but his eyes, pale slits glowing against the dark, were fixed below. Batman didn't just watch Gotham. He listened. Every drip, every hiss of steam from ruptured pipes, every scuff of shoes on wet concrete became part of a tapestry of sound that wrapped around him. Tonight, though, that tapestry felt frayed, torn in places where silence bled through. For weeks, the disappearances had carved holes in the city's pulse. A dock worker vanished while walking home, a nurse gone after her shift, a child plucked from his bed. Not kidnappings, not murders, something stranger. The families reported more than grief. They described blankness, as though the missing had been erased not only from the streets, but from memory. Entire photo albums were suddenly empty, names on documents fading into smears. Neighbors swore apartments had always been unoccupied, though Batman's files told a different story. It was as if Gotham itself were swallowing its own people whole. He crouched lower, armored gauntlet brushing the rooftop's edge. Below him stretched an alley few dared enter, even in daylight. It was narrow, claustrophobic, lined with broken fire escapes and sagging wires that swayed like nooses. The stench hit him first, not just trash or rot, but something older, metallic, sour, like old blood left too long in rain. Bootprints. He spotted them instantly. The treads pressed deep into wet grime, long and narrow, too symmetrical to belong to any human stride. They angled unnaturally, as if whoever, whatever, made them walked on elongated arches. A whisper of movement stirred in the dark. Not loud, just a scrape. Nails or claws dragging along the brick. He froze. The rain seemed to still with him. Somewhere deep in the black mouth of the alley, something shifted. Then silence. Batman lowered his breathing, heart steady, cape curling closer around his body like wings shielding prey. The shadows ahead pulsed, thick and heavy. For a moment, he thought he saw them breathe. The city whispered back to him in that silence. A voice carried not on air, but an instinct, in bone. You are not alone down here. Section 2. Footsteps in the fog. The alley seemed endless, stretching farther than the block should allow, as if space itself folded inward. Batman's boots touched down without a sound, the impact softened by damp asphalt slick with rainwater and oil. The smell thickened as he moved deeper, sharp and coppery, like a wound left open too long. He followed the footprints. They twisted and dragged across the pavement, uneven but deliberate, like the owner was leading something behind them, or perhaps being pulled forward. Each print glistened in the rain as if freshly pressed, though his files said the last victim disappeared 3 nights ago. The walls pressed in tighter with every step. Windows above were either boarded shut or shattered, black holes gaping against the fog. A cat darted across the path, its cry high-pitched, ragged. Then silence reclaimed the space instantly, unnaturally, as though even the city's strays knew they shouldn't linger here. Batman reached the center of the alley when he saw it, a smear on the wall. Dark, wet, half-washed by the rain. He touched it with 2 fingers. Blood, not recent, but not old either. And beneath it, carved deep into the brick, a mark. Not a symbol from Gotham's gangs. Something else. Circular, spiraling inward like a whirlpool. The lines cut deep enough that flakes of brick still clung to the ground, scattered like ash. He traced the spiral with his gloved hand, and for the briefest moment, the stone pulsed warm beneath his touch, like a faint heartbeat. He pulled away sharply, scanning the dark ahead. That's when the footsteps began. Soft, dragging, measured, not echoing properly, as though the sound wasn't bouncing off the alley walls, but crawling straight into his ears. Closer, then stopping, then closer again. Batman's jaw tightened. His training told him to measure his breathing, to root himself. But there was something about the cadence of those steps, too patient, too steady. He flicked his wrist, releasing a batarang that whirred through the air before striking brick. The noise was sharp, clean, but the footsteps did not falter. From the haze at the far end of the alley, a shape began to form. Tall, narrow. Its limbs seemed wrong, too elongated, bending at angles that should not bend. For every inch the figure advanced, the fog curled tighter around it, hiding more than it revealed. A faint glimmer of eyes reflected back, but not like human eyes. Flat, glassy, hungry. Batman's voice cut through the quiet, low and controlled, though the shadows themselves seemed to absorb it. "Who's there?" No reply, only the sound of dragging feet.